guys, welcome to another video. So in today's video I'll be sharing with you some moments of when I went to Jamaica, and this was in January of this year 2021. And the reason why I traveled to Jamaica was because a relative of mine died. My grandma died, and I had to go for the funeral. This was when the whole COVID thing wasn't very bad. You still had to take a COVID test before going and quarantine and all that stuff. So I'm gonna be sharing with you some moments from when I went to Jamaica, some moments from my grandma's funeral, and some of the places that I went to. But before we get into that video, I want you to like, comment, and please don't forget to click that button and subscribe. So I'm just gonna start off with what happened before I traveled to Jamaica. So around this time, I think they weren't in lockdown. This was before their second, third, how many lockdown they have now. So before that, before I left the country, I had to do COVID tests, just like now where we all have to do a COVID test. I had to do a COVID test. So to do the COVID test, I wanted to do it at the clinic because I had took a COVID test before because I thought I had COVID, but it came back negative. But for this trip, I wanted to go back to the same clinic to take the COVID test. But when I called them, they said that unless I have symptoms, I won't be able to do the COVID test there. So I had to do it somewhere else. So I called the place where I'm supposed to take the COVID test if I'm going overseas, and they told me that it's gonna take like 3 to 5 days. And I'm like, oh my god, because I was leaving like the weekend, either the Friday or the Saturday, I don't remember, but I wouldn't be able to take the COVID test until the Monday. So and they said 3 to 5 days before the results, and I was freaking out because I didn't want to miss my grandma's funeral. Because before that, me and my husband, we had planned to go after, to go like when the whole COVID situation wasn't so bad. But then we got the news that she had passed, so I ended up being the one just going for the funeral. So yeah, my husband didn't come with me because of what happened, because when we were planning to go, I wanted to go so he can meet her, because she was asking about him. She had talked to him like over the phone, video call and all that, but she has never met him in person. So we had planned to go to Jamaica to visit her so she can finally meet him. But stuff happens in life, so I ended up going by myself. So back to the whole taking the COVID test. So yeah, they said 3 to 5 days before I get the results. So I was like freaking out. I called my mom and I was like, mommy, mommy, I don't know what I'm gonna do, because I can't miss my grandmother funeral, So anyway, she just said, just go and do it, and we'll see what happens, fingers crossed and whatever. So I went and did it, and then probably 2 days after, they called and said the result was ready. And I'm like, oh my god, thank you, Jesus. I was so happy. Okay, I was so happy. So okay, we got the COVID test, came back negative, booked my ticket and packed and stuff, and was ready to go. And then the day that I'm supposed to leave, everything packed, ready. I have my passport, boarding ticket, everything. And okay, the morning we the morning my husband dropped me off at the airport, and we went in, like we went to check in. He helped me with my bags and stuff. So when I went up to check in, um, when you go up, they asked us if we, well, they asked me if I had did my COVID test, and I said yes, because there was like a whole older lady beside me at another like kiosk, trying to like check in, but she didn't do her COVID test, I think, or something. No, I'm lying. You had to do something online. Like there's an app you have to go on or something that you have to do, and before you check in, before you go to the airport and check in. So thankfully my mom had traveled before and she had done all that, so she helped me with all that. And thank you, mommy, you're a lifesaver. So we went up, check in. They asked if I did the thing on the app, if I did the COVID test, and I said yes. Okay, so so check in, and I said goodbye to my husband, kiss, hug, all that stuff. So when I go up now to go through the thing, the metal detector and all that thing, crosses tip me. It's like, I don't know what, it's like everything did I just go wrong. First, when I did the COVID, when I was trying to do the COVID test, and they said 3 to 5 days before the results come out, and then when I went to the airport. So you go, you take off your shoes, your bag, your phone, everything, you put them in a little thing so it can go through the metal detector, and then you walk through that standing one. So I was in like full black. I was in black jeans, black shirt, like black jacket, black boots, everything black. Okay, so I took off my boots, took off everything, put it in another thing, send it through. So I walk through, and the metal detector go off. Like, Jesus Christ, like, them are gonna think me have drugs now, have all kind of something upon me, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, the lady put me on the side, so them can use the one that they have in their hands. So I had to go like this, and then they scan me with the thing, and then it's something go off again. I mean, like, Lord Jesus Christ, help me right now. So first, I go through the standing one where you have to walk through, and it go off. Then when the lady bring me to the side now, I use the handheld one that go off too, and I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, the lady that was the one that did it, she was very nice. Like, she's like, it's okay, like sometimes stuff on clothes, like cologne that you use and stuff like that can like make the metal detectors go off. So I'm like, okay. Like, outside I'm like calm, but inside I'm like dying. Okay, like me afraid people, like me literally afraid. Anyways, she said I think one of her superior came over, and they told me that I had to go in a room so they can pat me down and search me. So they brought me in the room, and I didn't have to strip people. It was no strip searching, nothing. Okay, so they brought me in the room. It was the first lady that like used a handheld metal detector and searched me, and then her superior. So I went in there, and then she had me stand with my hands out and my feet apart, and she pat me down, and everything was good. So I came back out, got my stuff, put on my shoes, and went through. I said, people, I was so nervous. Like, just to tell you guys it back, like, I feel like I'm in there again. But yeah, once I went through, never come home at the same time and be like, no, I call my husband and be like, oh my God, Dustin, you won't believe what happened. Like, them bring me in my room and pat me down and stop me because the metal detector go off. I was like, people, I was dying inside. Anyways, so I'm there, sitting down, waiting on like to hear when we're supposed to board and stuff like that. So there, got up, went to get like something to eat and whatever. And then another piece of crosses hit me. My flight got delayed because it was early in the morning and it was like raining, because in January in North Dakota it's cold, people. Like, snow, yes, it did cold. So it wasn't raining, it was cold, and the plane, like whatever was frozen on the plane, so it couldn't take off. It had to defrost before we could take off, before we could board and leave. So my flight got delayed. So I'm there sitting, waiting on my phone and all that stuff. So then after that, they were saying that they were trying to get people on different flights who won't make this one and all that stuff, or we could wait and whatever. Because I had went up to the desk and was talking to them, and they said that right now all they can do is just wait. So I went, sit back down and just relax until it was time. And then finally it was time to take off and stuff. So before my flight was delayed, I was supposed to have a layover, at least probably like I think 1 or 2 hours or something like that, layover, and I didn't have that because my flight was delayed. So when I reached the next airport to get my connecting flight, I almost missed the flight, people. Like, I almost missed the flight. Like, literally, I run through. Excuse me. Sorry. Literally, I run through the airport, people. Like, so I got off, got in contact with my mom, because we were coming from different places, but we were meeting up at the same airport. Okay, so her flight also had got delayed, but she reached before me. So I got off the plane, like was calling her, and she was telling me like where to go and stuff. So I got off on one part, and then to get to the next section of the airport to get my flight, I had to take one of those sky trains. So I went to take the sky train, and people will come off at the wrong stop. It's like, I don't know what, but it just saw that the other people, like, everything that was possibly going wrong for this trip just did not go wrong. From the whole getting the COVID test, to my flight getting delayed, and now to stopping off at the wrong part of the airport. I took the sky train, came off of the wrong section. I never know what I did because the airport was so huge. I don't remember what airport it was. I think it was Dallas or something. I don't remember. But the airport was huge, people. Take the sky train, come off at the wrong section. Okay, so me there I walk and whatever. I try get in contact with my mother. Get in contact with her. Tell her, say, Mommy, I come off at the wrong part. Like, what am I to do? So then I see this gentleman walking, and I stopped and asked, where is gate whatever. And he worked there, because he was like, what is your flight number? Like, what gate are you going? And he went on his phone and put it in, and then he's like, you're on the wrong stop, you need to go back over wherever. And I'm like, oh my God. Anyways, we'll go back, go take a next sky train, and eventually come off at the right place. Okay, so when we come off of the right section now, my mother call me and message me and text me and everything. I said, your flight are gonna leave, your flight are gonna leave. Like, the plane, everybody board the plane. Like, me are the last, like, people me are the last one to go up on the plane. Anyways, so me I walk, like, I have my carry-on, I have my knapsack, I have my phone in my hand, I have my passport and my boarding ticket in my next, and may I tell you, people, it's not one of them drawback there for the carry-on. It's like one of them duffel bag there, and I have the strap, I have it over my shoulder, my backpack on my back, and I think I have, other than my phone and my boarding ticket and passport, I think I did have something else in them, I'm not remember. Anyways, mommy I call me and I say, you need to hurry up, like, yeah, you're the last person, them I go close the plane and all that, and I'm like, oh my god, I go miss the flight, like, me I go sleep at airport, me I go miss my grandmother funeral and all of them somebody, and I'm just like, I was so over it. Anyways, my daddy hurry up and I walk till me I start run. And imagine me have so much something, the heavy bag, the knapsack, like everything. Me I stop one time and then this guy stop and say, like, me I run through if you go on my gate to pass other gate, and then me finally stop because I was so tired. And then this attendant, flight attendant or gate attendant, whatever you want to call them, see me and I say, which gate are you going to? And I tell him, and he was like, you need to hurry up, and I'm like, I can't run. And he's like, you need to hurry up. People, me tell you, when me take off, like, you just hear me, you see him Bolt, will me I run 3 people in airport. Like, I sprint to the people, like, I mean, you know, the flight now left me. Anyways, me daddy I run until me finally see the gate, and me run up to the desk, and I saw me there. And people, me have to put my hand on my knee, and me short of breath, and oh my god, and then me in the mask, and all of them so there. Me say, Jesus Christ, a hell of a thing. So I show them my ticket, and they're like, go, and then we run through figure, and when we reach at the plane gate or door or whatever, me I breathe on. The flight attendant officer, like, one little seat that was at the, like, front section of the plane, like when you're going in, she's like, sit down, and then they had some small Ziploc bag with, like, pretzels and water that they gave us on the plane. Yes, that's all they gave us, a Ziploc small bag with one of the bottled water, not even a big bottle water, a little bottled water, and a bag of pretzel. That's all they give you. Anyways, she give me some water, and she's like, calm down, breathe, drink this. I'm gonna say, people, but short of breath, and I saw me and go, and I drink water at the same time, and I'm like, oh my god. And then after I calm down now, people, after I finally calm down, catch my breath and everything, go down, go find me seat, and finally I see my mommy, and I'm like, mommy, a piece of hell of a thing. And I say, mommy, nearly must miss the flight. Anyways, sit down, buckle up, everything, take off. And may I tell you, I had a splitting headache because the running couldn't get no rest, because you don't know, the running with the bag them, short of breath, and then when we take off and stuff, there was a little turbulence in the air, so I had like a splitting headache. Anyways,
yeah, can do it now.
finally reached Jamaica, got off the plane and stuff. Um, Going through the Jamaican airport, you had to make sure you had your COVID test. Make sure you print it out and have the physical form, and you have to have your mask on. And when you're just going in, they have a place. There's like people standing with the thermometer to test you, so you get tested, and you also have to sanitize, and then you walk through and go through customs and all of them good stuff there. And then when you reach the last section where you have to go collect your bag, before you go collect your bag, there were some soldiers there, and each person had to go to one, and you had to download this app on your phone. I don't remember the name of the app, but I'll put it up somewhere on the screen. You had to download that app on your phone before you had to go. I don't remember, before you go to Jamaica or when you reach there. Either way, you had to have the app on your phone, and then you had to like put in your information, and then you had to video yourself saying your name and that you had took your COVID test and whatever. Okay, I'm Judith Miller. I just arrived at Sanctuaries International Airport, and I'm okay. And the thing was, after that, you went to collect your bag and whatever, you're supposed to quarantine. You're supposed to quarantine for like 14 days or something like that. But people, I was only there for 1 week, and it was for my grandmother's funeral. So yeah, I just went home. Anyways, after the whole shenanigans with going, the COVID test, almost missing my flight and all that stuff, finally we're in Jamaica. And people, let me tell you, idiot. It was so hot there. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating, but where I'm living, you have snow, during the December, January, November time, it's cold, and then in the summer it's hot. So my body, like, at that time around January, it was cold where I'm living. So my body was used to the cold. And then when we're going to the Jamaica and eat, people, for the entire week I was there, I was complaining about the heat. Every second I'm like, my hot boy, my hot. And I'm like, oh my kids are hot. Which is a complaint about the heat. But I was so like glad to like see my family. I haven't seen them for like a couple years. Well, even though it was not the best circumstance why I was going, it was still nice to see my family and stuff like that. So yeah, and then I think I was there like for 1 or 2 days, and like we went to like town. I went to town with two of my cousins. We went like to the supermarket. We got our toenails done because I didn't do my nails and all that stuff when I had left, because yeah, I just didn't have time to do all that. So we went to town, got our toenails done, bought a couple stuff, and finally I got Jamaican KFC. People, if you ever go to Jamaica, you will understand that Jamaican KFC is probably the best in the world. Like, US, Canada, I don't care which part of the other world under there, Jamaican KFC is the best KFC. Had KFC, I had Island Grill, had patty. Oh my god, just talking about it now like makes me feel hungry right now and makes me miss it so much. So I got to have all of those nice food that I was missing out on. Got to have my aunt like home cooked Jamaican food and all of that, and then just spending time with my family, seeing friends. I got to see my schoolmate from high school, got to catch up with her. So it was really good. Okay. So after all that, it's the day of the setup or night. That's what we call it in Jamaica. Some persons from other country, I think in the US, calls it wake or something like that. That's where you get where everyone comes together, eat food, drink alcohol, like play some music. Most time at a night in Jamaica, it's like Christian music that's played. And plus my grandma was a Christian, so you had some gospel music playing and all that stuff. And then later on down, you have the dancehall, reggae, other kind of music playing. And everybody was just there, like just celebrating my grandmother's life. We were like, you have people playing dominoes and all that stuff. But people, like, this was all during like the whole pandemic. So around that time, we weren't supposed to have like large gatherings. You already know how it is. But we had to have something to like celebrate my grandmother's life. So it wasn't like there was like a lot of people, just friends, family, and all that stuff. Played music, catch up, played dominoes, eat some food, and just enjoy ourselves. And then after that, the next day is the funeral. And yeah, that was the hard day, but we got through it. The color scheme for the funeral was blue and pink because that was my grandmother's favorite colors. So everyone wore blue clothes, dress for the girls, and blue pantsuit for the guys. And then she was dressed in a blue dress. My grandmother was dressed in a blue dress, and she had a pink hat on her head. So she looked very pretty, very nice. So we had church service. It was kept at my aunt's church that she went to. And how they do it is, well, the first church that our family wanted to keep it at, they weren't gonna keep any service. It was only they said it was only like 15 people that could be there, I think 15 or so. And everything would keep at the graveside, so you would have the pastor there talking whatever, and just everything would be at the graveside. There wouldn't be like a church service where people could say, give their condolences and say stuff like that. So yeah, so we didn't go with that church because that was the church that my grandmother had went to. So instead we went with the church, my aunt's church. And for that church, they had the seats like 6 feet apart. So, one here, like one another 6 feet. So that was good. So everyone was spaced out. No one was like together, and then the funeral was also live stream. I think that was included in the package with like, when they were doing like the coffin and getting to church and everything. So that was included in it. So whoever, one of our family members or her friends or stuff couldn't attend the funeral, they could watch the live service, because my little sister wasn't able to go, but she watched the service and the funeral on the live stream. So we had that. And we had people saying, come up to say stuff like talk about her life and what it is. I did go up and say something, and oh my god, Forgive me, grandmother, but while I was saying, like, talking about her and memories of her and stuff, I accidentally said the word shit. Said the word shit in the people in the house of God. And I'm like, oh my God. But people, like, I was nervous and I was grieving, I was sad, and like I was about to cry, and I'm just like, oh my God. So hopefully my grandmother looking down on me just laughed, and so we no, the service was pretty nice. It wasn't long. We paid our respects. After that, after the church service, then everyone left and went to the burial site. So yeah, there, again, people paid their respect, sang a couple hymns, and then we said goodbye to her. And yeah, that was hard. Yeah, it was really difficult for me when I had found out that she died and stuff like that, because I haven't seen her like in such a long time, like probably around like 5 years. I haven't like seen her in person, and because we were making plans to go and see her and finally introduce her in person to my husband, so when I found out that she died, like it was really hard for me. And then being at the gravesite and saying goodbye to her, that was really hard. But she was sick, and she was also old, like I think she was 70 something, because yeah, she was buried in January, and her birthday was the February 16th, and she would be 80, I think. 80, so yeah, she lived her life like not most people live to see 79, so she had her kids, she got to see her grandkids, and she lived a good life. And I just hope, like, wherever she's she's happy looking down at us and like smiling. So yeah. Anyways,
What are we?
After the great tragedy, one student not died who lived. Scars may appear, limbs may be lost, but the apex of the pain you feel in the moment of sorrow and despair temper down, and we continue to live. As we continue to live and carry on after today, may we cherish the love Cinderella, Victoria Francis shared as she touched our lives. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm Shannon Brown. I want to extend gratitude to the church for accommodating us, to the family, each and every one who played their specific roles, friends, attendees, who have come today as we celebrate the life of Cinderella Francis, a true matriarch. As all of us have known her in a variety of roles: mother, grandmother, great-grandmother, auntie, mentor, church sister, and friend. We also know her by a number of names: Cindy, Vicky, Fatty, and more so, auntie. I have been privileged to have known her as my godmother, auntie. It is within this context I shall speak and share of her greatness. Cinderella was the second of three girls for her mother, born in Caribbean on the 16th of February 1941. She spent her formative years in Claremont in the community of Racehorse, where she completed her early childhood education and secondary education. During her time at school, by all indications, she was a stellar young lady in her personal life and pursuit of her educational goals. After completing school at Racecourse all age, she realized that the opportunity for growth was limited. As a result, she made a concerted effort to seek out better opportunities when she migrated to St. Catherine in search of employment and greater diversity. She worked in Central Village as part of a household. She later decided that this was not enough. So in her continued zest for greater than the status quo, she decided to move to Kingston, where she was trained as a seamstress. Soon after, she gave birth to her first daughter, Deborah McLean. She then gave birth to her second daughter, Hannah Parker Grant, and her third and last daughter, Pauline Collington Barnes. She soon realized that the environment in which she existed was not peaceful or conducive to raising a young family, hence she decided to move to Spanish Town. In Spanish Town, she continued her industrious ways and created stability for her family. She did many things, as she was never satisfied or became complacent. There, she became godmother to many, where she would self-sacrifice and ensure that her children and their children were always taken care of. She gave us everything she could. I remember as a young child, I was in my section of the yard along with my little sister when there was nothing on the back door. It was Auntie. She said every time she was about to put some food in her mouth, it fell, and she wanted to know if we were hungry. Why? We did hungry, but she still would let it that night. Our granny was a real hard-working woman. One of my indelible childhood memories is of her coming down the lane with her good pot in a straw bag, gripped tight under her arm. I can almost see her now. Coming home from a long day of work at the school gate selling her goods. She was independent, always trying, and even when the years went by, the vivid image of her changed from her coming down the road with one bag under her arm to one walking stick in the other. This was not just admirable. It was a lesson to us in perseverance by the way she lived her life, even though she didn't have to. She was never comfortable sitting at home waiting on adults. Not while she was able-bodied and could move about. I would say respectful, virtuous woman. She was a counselor, a mentor, a shoulder that many run to, including myself. She was always appreciative of the simplest things and gestures towards her. And she seemed to have a sixth sense. She would have these uncanny premonitions about things that were going on in her life that there was no way she could have known. When she would call us aside in the mornings, we were usually shocked, but she was always 100% accurate. I remember just a couple months ago, I was going through a difficult time. I made sure not to show my face for a couple days, because once she saw me, she would know right away something was wrong. This didn't necessarily work in my favor, as many of us can attest. Noticing her absence would only lead to her asking about her whereabouts, and she did. Trying to prevent her suspicions and fears about me, I went and I sat by her bedside. I could go back, and I burst into tears. She found the strength to encourage me, pray for me, and gave me a word that would have been fulfilled within 24 to 72 hours. To my surprise, in less than 24 hours, things started to happen. I ran to her with excitement to share the news. She grabbed my hand and said, "Let me tell you." That experience helped to build my faith in God and appreciate appreciate how much she was happy when we were happy. She celebrated all our achievements, whether big or small. She was the most excited and explained how happy she was that was around. She was a woman of great wisdom. I didn't know for college degree that she possessed, but she was most qualified with life lessons. When we would sit with her to talk, get your books and your pen ready because she was going to take you to school. We would hear about her life experiences from topics such as herbal medicine, relationships, friendships, money management. We used to say, boy, I love money back. Truth be told, she was very kind. And she always had a little money tucked away in a corner of her house that has been a great help when there was an emergency or if someone needed a little bit loan. Auntie lived up to her gift of dressmaking and designing, as she was always well decked out in her beautiful skirt suits and her headpieces. We would especially admire the beautiful floral prints and bright colors reflecting of her radiant spirit. She was a prayer warrior, a woman of faith. All my life, I've known her to be a Christian, and she served in a number of churches. I remember passing her room and prayers blasted through the opening. She was always praying, day and night. I believe if there was a bank in heaven for prayers, Auntie was really rich. To this day, we believe it's the prayers that really kept us sometimes from the unseen. Boy, Auntie had a temper. And funny enough, that genetic trait did not speak not one of us. But I've never seen her in a brawl or quarrel. She just believed in getting her point across and defending her views. However, she was extremely loving and caring. She extended her love to family, friends, and even strangers. Every now and then, someone physically challenged, someone seeking help and advice would come along, and no matter how little she had, they never left empty-handed. Whether it was a small change, prayer, word of advice, or a warm meal. Sometimes, the reality of life, challenges, unplanned events, life just happens. And she became ill in 2019. She would be back and forth to her many doctor visits, mostly accompanied by her granddaughter, Diane Morris. It was not easy, but Auntie was a fighter. Through the pain and the weakness, she prayed to her God. She would boast about the different roles each of us would play. Her love for us and importance to us, to her was evident. Her love for us and her importance to her was evident. When she would call each and every one of her children and grandchildren by their names, whether or not they were in her presence, as she laid in bed, close to the end of her journey in the circle of life. On December 30th, 2020, her brave fight ended. She was a gift from God to us. So many things will never be the same. I'm sure there is grief, knowing you will no longer see her again. You will no longer hear her again. Cry if you must. But while we mourn, let us consider it a blessing to have known her for so many years. May we remember while she was here her no days, her laughter, her teachings, the memories she gave us, the love she gave us, the good that she did for family and strangers, how she kept the family together. As she rests, may we keep her legacy alive. Rest in heavenly peace.
Kita video hari.
Good morning.
I'm Cinderella Francis' granddaughter, her youngest daughter's mother. Next month would have been her 80th birthday. Both me and mommy and her were born in February. Isn't that something? I thank God for a while and we were planning to surprise her for her 18th birthday, but things just didn't work out. And I was feeling really guilty because I haven't seen her in so long. But I heard that she was like very sick and in pain. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't see her in that way and just remember her for the wonderful grandmother she is. Was. I have so many memories with her. She was part of my life. Like from I was born, she was there. I remember one time when we were kids, we were all running around, playing and giving trouble, and she was calling us and telling us to stop it. We were running around the house, and she grabbed me and pulled me in the house and basically whooped my ass. She gave me a beating, and that was the first beating I ever got. And I was mad because I didn't understand why, but looking back at it, I was glad that I have that memory of her. Everyone knows the story of Cinderella. Like she was poor and she wasn't treated good. And I always wonder why Grandma never liked the name Cinderella, because she always went by Victoria, or everyone knows her as Auntie. But in the end, Cinderella got her happy ever after. And that's what I hope for Grandma, that she gets her happy ever after. Thank you.
After that, we went home, and then you also have like, after the funeral, you have like a gathering together of the family and friends, and they eat food again. You don't know, Jamaicans have to eat like food, just have to eat. So we went back home, like gathered, talk, eat some food and just share memories and stuff like that. So yeah, that was that. Okay, so now that all the sad stuff is out the way, I'm gonna tell you a couple of the places that I went to while I was there. Like I said, guys, it was only like for a week, and by the time you look, like a week just shoots past, yeah. And like, yeah, so I did get a chance to go to a place. I don't remember what it is, but it was a river, had to go to a river, dipping at some river water. And it was very nice. I don't remember the name of the place, but when I figured out, put it on the screen, and you guys will know. And I did take some videos and pictures there, and while I was there, I did do, the thing where you hold on to like a swing, but you hold on to it and you swing back and forth, and then you jump in the water or drop in the water. So I did do that. So that was something exciting that I did. I have a video for that also, so I'll show you guys.
1, 2, 3.
Shorty a little body, shorty my little old thing, and shorty got the fatty. Shorty be catching mood swings. Every time I fuck without a rubber, I got it on the covers, and I keep it on the cover. It's on kiss and tell. Every time I fuck, she call me dad. My little mama nasty. I see the pussy through the.
Is that so? Getting to spend time with my family and do something fun. So yeah, and also, while I was there, I did go to the craft market. I got a couple of souvenir. I got one of the things that you put in your car, and it's like fluffier or something like that. Jamaican color, so I got that for my husband so he can put it in his car. I got a Jamaican lighter for my boss. I also brought back a Jamaican rum for one of my co-workers, and like a couple Jamaican like handbands, like, you know, to put on your wrist. I got a couple of those and gave a couple to my co-workers.
You can't sanitize, you can't spray with alcohol.
Then you're just
You can't spray this on the alcohol.
So I was glad I could go to the craft market, go to the river, you know, spend time with my family, and just get to see Jamaica again after being away for so long, like, you know. So yeah, it was a memorable trip, to say the least, like from almost missing my flight, you know, to like saying goodbye to my grandma and just like spending time with my family and just getting to see Jamaica again after so long. So it was a memorable trip, and I can't wait to go back. Like, there's nowhere like home, like, and I won't be waiting so long again before I go back. So there's a lot of other places in Jamaica that I want to go to, so I'm gonna make it a point not to wait so long again to go back home. So yeah, so that is just a little recap of my trip going to Jamaica and the whole process of traveling through a pandemic. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to give it a thumbs up, you know, to like, to comment, and don't forget, people, to subscribe. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next time, sooner or later. Bye.